there. Thank you for taking a moment to watch this video. And on this specific training, we're going to continue talking about the Nimble CRM integration with the PhoneBurner Power Dialer. And at this point, you should have already linked your PhoneBurner account with your Nimble CRM. And hopefully you've even made a dial or two to see how the call activities are logged back to the Nimble CRM. And what I want to focus on for this specific training is additional data. You see, out of the box, there's not a lot that you have to do in order to get the system to work. The name information is going to be fed over to the PhoneBurner Power Dialer. The phone numbers, all of that stuff is going to be fed into the dialer when you initiate that dial session, just as you saw. But you may have additional information within those records that you would like to have at your fingertips while in a dial session. Now, I can't account for all of the different pieces of information and custom fields that you may or may not have created within your account. So I'm just going to give you a couple quick examples of mapping fields from Nimble to PhoneBurner. So I'm going to close out of this activity, and I'm going to jump over to the data fields section and the workflows area within that section. Not sure if I'm using the right terms there. But I've created a few fields in here that I may want to see while making phone calls using PhoneBurner. One of them is a custom date field. Obviously, that can represent any sort of date information that you want or care about within your account. And then I've got another one that is a custom text field. I want to map these fields into PhoneBurner so that I can see those when I'm making calls. It's really easy to do this. So I'm going to jump over to settings. From my settings, I'm going to go back into the PhoneBurner settings. And here in the fields mapping section, once everything links up, I'm going to map these fields to fields in PhoneBurner. So I'm going to click on Nimble field. I'm going to go down here to the workflow section. In there, I've got a basic sales pipeline area, and that's where I created those fields. So let's say, for example, the custom date field. I want to map that to a field in PhoneBurner. Now, obviously, you're going to need to create that field on the PhoneBurner side, and we've got lots of simple training on how to do that. I'm not going to bore you with teaching you how to create a custom field on the PhoneBurner side. But I've already created that field, the custom date field. I'm going to map that, and then I'm going to click on Add One More Mapping. And again, this is in my Workflows section, Basic Sales Pipeline, and I'm going to choose the custom text box. And I'm going to map that to the custom text box in PhoneBurner. Now, I want to point out that you cannot map every field type from Nimble to PhoneBurner. Just not possible at this point, but I do know that date fields and text fields work without a problem, so that's what we're going to focus on today. So I'm going to go ahead and save mapping. And now those fields are mapped. Let's jump back over to contacts. Let's go to our basic sales pipeline. And let's call George. Let's just do a dial session to George. And let's take a look at those fields now that we've mapped them. So we're going to go ahead and speed through here and get connected. And let's start dialing. So here we are calling George Sample, and you'll notice that the custom information from Nimble is now being fed into the dial session window. I'll have that information right there so that I can reference it during my conversation with George. And that's it. That's how easy it is for you to map additional fields from Nimble to the PhoneBurner Power Dialer. Thanks for taking a moment to watch this video, and happy dialing.